يسعد فؤادي كلما ذكر الحبيب ترنما، ذاك الذي رب العلا صلى عليه وسلم. يسعد فؤادي كلما ذكر الحبيب ترنما، ذاك الذي رب العلا.
ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا، من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء، واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم، ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. إن خير الكلام كلام الله عز وجل، وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، وشر الأمور محدثاتها، وكل محدثة بدعة، وكل بدعة ضلالة، وكل ضلالة في النار. أما بعد. A question in the fatwa which we have taken previously is, how can we truly love the messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? That's the question. What is the genuine love for Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? A very important question. A question that many of us have misconceived. Many of us have not understood the correct way of how we really and truly should love Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. This is the question that was asked to the Shaykh in the beautiful book Fatawa al-Islamiyya. What we've got to understand is something very, very important. Saying that I love Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is not good enough. The true love for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is not a teardrop that comes from the eye. It's not beautiful words that are spoken. It's not jumping up and down in celebration of his supposed birthday, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. It's not kissing your fingers, ana bhib Rasulullah al-Raqsi, while having a cigarette in the other hand. It's not sitting down on the coffee table discussing Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam when you're cleanly shaven and your garment is below your ankles and you are perfect at every girl that goes past. This is not the genuine love of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Rather, genuine love needs proof. It needs sweat. It needs action. It needs to imitate him in every possible way. It needs you to revive his sunnah to the best of your capability. It needs you to struggle in his cause. This is genuine love. Genuine love, in basic words, needs emulation. Loving what he loved, detesting what he detested, being pleased with that which pleased him, being angered with that which angered him. This is true love. This is love for Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And this is the love that Allah Ta'ala has obligated you. Not to jump up and down like a hooligan and say, أنا بحب رسول الله صلوا على النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. Not good enough. That's not good enough. Well, your mortgages are up to the mountain, and you have your beautiful Gillette 3 shaving every morning, or you have the intermingling and the ras and the duck in every party that exists. You are there with alcohol on the table, or doing the dance between you and the other non-mahram. That is not love. And yet you claim you love Rasulullah. Gibberish. You are lying. You do not love Rasulullah. That is not how Allah Ta'ala told you to love Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. قُلْ إِن تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ فَاتَّبِعُونِي يُحْبِبْكُمُ اللَّهُ. Look how beautiful this verse is. If you truly love Allah Ta'ala, see, loving Rasulullah is loving Allah Ta'ala. Loving Allah is in following His injunctions, His ways. If you indeed love Allah, He tells us directly, the Almighty, then follow the one I commanded you to follow. Follow Him. Follow His footsteps. Follow His acts of worship. Do what He told you to do. Keep away from that which He told you to keep away from. This is true love for Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Where in return, Allah will forgive you. Where in return, Allah will love you and forgive you. Allahu Akbar. Look at the companions, the muhajirun, which not like to be the students of these individuals. Those who forsook their wives, their children, their wealth, their most prized possessions. They abandoned it in Mecca and traveled through the rough and tough, barren, dry desert. Wallahi, rough and tough, dry desert from Mecca to Medina, which is a 4-hour drive today. They went walking with no provision. There was no McDonald's drive-through, KFC drive-through. There was no haram drive-through. No. They support Israel, and we are obsessed by it today. There's none of these drive-thrus. They went with one and only one provision. Wallahi, you know what that provision was? Genuine and true love for Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. They were willing to do anything. That's why they walked that rough and tough, dry, barren desert. Severe degrees. They loved Allah too much. They loved Allah too much. Hence they followed what Allah told them. Follow your messenger to Medina. This is true and genuine love for Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. You know, when Ali ibn Abi Talib was asked to describe the love that he and his fellow companions had for Rasulullah, listen to this profound and very, very important response. He said, Rasulullah to us was more beloved than our wealth, our children, our mothers, our fathers. And then listen to what he said. Wallahi, beautiful statement. He said, Rasulullah was more beloved to us than what cool, fresh water is to a dying man. Allahu Akbar. Do you understand that? He was more beloved to them than what cool, fresh water is to a dying man of thirst. Can you imagine what that meant? Do we feel this? Do we feel that love for him? I think the majority of us say no. The majority of us would want to go through a drive-thru and have that nice, icy Coca-Cola and say, what a beautiful taste. What a beautiful, sweet taste, they'll say. Allah yatikum al-afiyah. He never reads the biographies of these elite individuals. Wallahi, you read the biographies of these elite individuals, the companions. You read their biographies. You would recognize, wallahi, you would recognize the true love, the profound love that they felt for Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Not a love that was uttered. No. They did not say, I want to jump up and down and love him. Wallahi not. Their love controlled their every emotion. You know what that means? It controlled their lives. Their love controlled the way they lived, the way they worshipped, the way they ate, the way they drank, sat, lived. In every perspective, it came from the innermost regions of this morsel. The love that existed for Muhammad existed in the innermost regions of that great morsel called the heart. Wallahi. And you look throughout the history of man, you look in the history. Something about Islam is unique. Something about this beautiful deen is beautiful. Wallahi. You would never ever find any nation, any group, any people, any community love their leader the way the companions loved Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The way you should love Rasulullah. The way you should love Rasulullah, you should never and you will never find anyone loving anyone in the same way. Because the love he means absolute emulation, absolute acceptance. He was the walking character of the Quran. You want to see the Quran walking? He was the model. He was the parable. He was the example, exactly how Allah wanted man. How can you go wrong? Look, how can anyone go wrong when Allah told us, see this man here? You want to go to Jannah? Simple, follow him. Follow him. Is there anything hard about that? Is there anything hard about that? You want Jannah? It's simple, he said. Follow him. You know, wallahi, they were willing to use their bodies as human shields for him. As human shields. They were utmost in following him, imitating him in every little and great thing. Every little and great thing. Look at Adi ibn Khubayb ibn Adi al-Ansari. We've taken some of these examples before, but still refresh your memory. Adi was captured by the pagans, was he not? Correct. And just before he was killed, in the last moments of his life, the pagans said to him, would you not like that you were at home and resting while Muhammad, they said, pagan Arabs, was in your place? Would you not like to be saved and Muhammad take his punishment instead? And just before his last breaths, what did he say? Wallahi, by Allah, I cannot even imagine a thorn prick the foot of Rasulullah if it meant me resting at her. What love is that? Not even a thorn pricked the foot of Rasulullah if it meant me resting in my home. One of the companions mentions about this narration that Abu Sufyan, who was an unbeliever at that time, remarked to his associates saying, see, he was talking to his kufr buddies. He said, see the companions' love for Muhammad. It is unparalleled and unprecedented. See, it's not just love. It's not just to say, I love you. It doesn't mean anything to say, I love you. You have to prove it. You have to prove that love. Do you understand? understand what I'm trying to get to here? Love here means action, not words. Love means implementation. Don't do this, I don't do this. Do this, I do this. That's what love means. To blindly follow him in everything. To blindly follow him. He's one man that you can't blindly follow. No other. He's one man that you are allowed to say, I am going to blindly follow him, no one else. One of the companions once wore a golden ring. What did you wear, Yakhweh? A gold. Are you allowed to wear gold rings? You're not allowed to wear gold rings? Only for ladies, correct? Anyway, it was a man wearing it. A companion. And Muhammad ibn Abdullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam saw this gold ring on this companion. He grabbed the gold ring and removed it from his finger. He threw it onto the ground. And he said to him, Ya akhi, it is like wearing a burning charcoal from hellfire. The important part of this hadith is, when Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam left, the other companion said to the companion that, the ring was thrown from, pick it up, pick it up. You can use it for other legitimate purposes. And he responded, La wallahi, nay, never by Allah, I would never touch it. Once it was thrown by Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. What is it? It's action. This is action. This is true love for Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Rabi'a ibn Ka'b, when he gave him water that night for tahajjud, so Muhammad said to Rabi'a, Ya Rabi'a, ask whatever you want, you get. Ask. Ya Rasulullah, I don't want anything except one thing. Your company in Jannah. Wow. Look at the beauty in this. Ask whatever you want, he said to him. I don't want anything except one. Your company in Jannah. What a beautiful desire. Now, Ya Rasulullah, give me a mansion bigger than every other mansion on this earth. Give me a 15, 20, 60, 60 wives. Give me the best looking camel. No. I don't want this. Give me your company in Jannah. Now the Prophet said to him, anything else, Ya Rabi'a? Do you want anything else? He goes, La wallahi ya Rasulullah, I want your company in Jannah. What was the response? See, here's the response. It's action. He just said, well, make sure you love me. Make sure before you go to sleep, you say, I love Rasulullah. No. He said, فَأَعِنِّي عَلَى ذَلِكَ بِكَثْرَةِ السُّجُودِ. Then help me achieve this for you. How? In devoting yourself often in prostration. What is it? Action. What is it? Action. It requires action. Thawban, we know Thawban, the great companion. Once he came to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and sadness was all over his face. Sadness. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam noticed it on him. So he was wary and vigilant when it came to his companions. He goes, Ya Thawban, why are you so sad? He said, Ya Rasulullah, it is not that I have a disease, nor do I feel sick. However, when our daily meetings with you come to an end, I feel so sad until the next day. And then I remembered that in the next life, Allah will give you a special place in Jannah. And if I am destined to Jannah, I'm definitely going to be in a lesser position than you, and I can't see you, he said. And then he said, if I am not destined to Jannah, I will never see you. And he was crying. Now Rasulullah did not know how to answer this Thawban. He did not know how to reply to him. So that there was an interim. There was an interim. And then the Almighty Allah revealed a beautiful verse in Ahmad. A what? Wallahi, aren't the verses beautiful? From A to Z. Absolutely. He revealed a beautiful verse in response to this Thawban. And that was, وَمَنْ يُطِعِ اللَّهَ وَالرَّسُولَ فَأُولَٰئِكَ مَعَ الَّذِينَ أَنْعَمَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِمْ مِنَ النَّبِيِّينَ وَالصِّدِّيقِينَ وَالشُّهَدَاءِ وَالصَّالِحِينَ وَحَسُنَ أُولَٰئِكَ رَفِيقًا. What a beautiful verse. Look at the response that Allah gave Muhammad, who did not know how to answer Tawban until it was revealed to him. Ya Tawban, Allah has revealed this verse in response to what you're asking me. Can you imagine that a verse comes down in response to your query, your question? So he said, Ya Tawban, Allah has revealed to me a beautiful verse. Whosoever obeys Allah and His Messenger shall be with those on whom Allah has shown His grace, bestowed His grace. The prophets, the truthful, the martyrs, the righteous, and not an excellent company. That is, Allah says. So the response was given to her, to Tawbah. So, what does it require? What does it require? Action. وَمَنْ يُطِيعِ اللَّهَ what? الرَّسُولُ يُطِيعِ. What does it mean? Obey. Action. It's not just words, it's action again. Now this is the reality of truly following Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. This is the reality of true and genuine what? This way? Love for this great individual. And as I said earlier on, no matter how many teardrops comes from your eye, no matter how many beautiful poetry or words come from your mouth, no matter how high you jump up and down and say that you love Rasulullah, acting like a hooligan in his celebration, not good enough. You need to obey him as much as you can. And Allah knows what you're capable of doing. Allah will reward you according to your ability. Now last week we started off mentioning some of his ways, his style, his methods throughout life. Number one was when you feel upset, you feel depressed. Remember Muhammad always had a what? A smile on his face. He was content no matter what situation he encountered. Number two, when becoming angry, remember the Prophet's advice to who? To the man that asked him, "Ya Rasulullah, advise me." Do not get angry. That was number two. Number three was when feeling hungry or experiencing a bit of lack of food in the house. Remember Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam's days of poverty, and how Aisha said we did not see the fire in our house over 1 month, and how he tied 2 stones to his waist to what? Suppress hunger. Number four, when someone comes and asks you of something that he or she is in need of, and you're able to help, don't give them 100 excuses. Don't be stingy, don't be a miser or greedy. Remember, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was the most generous of people. Number five, when losing a member of the family. Remember Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his encounter with his son, Ibrahim, how he dealt with the issue. Number six, when fearing the enemy or fearing someone or having just natural fear. Remember the saying of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam to Abu Bakr as-Siddiq in which cave? In cave 4. When he said, "La tahzan inna Allah ma'ana." Grieve not, do not be scared. Indeed Allah is with us. Number 7 is, and these examples is what he taught us how we should live on this earth. See, it's not just a matter of saying, "Oh, mashallah, they sound great, what beautiful narrations." No! We don't listen in order to say how beautiful these things are. We listen in order to apply. To what? To apply. Number 7, when feeling pain. You know, we always feel pain in this dunya. We're always saying, "Ah, dhahri, ah, rasi, ah, all the time." We're human beings, we're weak. But remember the days of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam when he traveled to where? Where did he travel and get harassed? Huh? Ta'if. He went to Ta'if to do da'wah in Ta'if, did he not? But who did he meet there? The chiefs of Ta'if were a conceited bunch. Do you expect them to show him hospitality? Did they greet him with sweets and chocolates, with food, with nice welcoming? Absolutely not. They greeted him with not even wanting to listen to him. They did not even give him an audience. Instead, their greeting to him was that of mockery, laughter, slander. They set upon him the loads of the village and the idlers, the kids, the weak, and they pelted Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam with cloths, with rocks. Wallahi, he was extremely wounded on that day. He was extremely wounded, covered with blood, to the extent where the hadith says he was staggering through the streets of Ta'if, almost collapsed. And while he was on the outskirts trying to leave the place, a farmer who had mercy took him into his hut, nursed his wounds, and allowed him to regain his strength before traveling once again through the rough terrain between Ta'if and Mecca. Now we all know here that the angel of the mountains alongside Jibril came to who? To Muhammad in this vulnerable state. Very sensitive time. And he said to him, Ya Rasulullah, Allah has commanded you to serve. Whatever you so desire, I am at your service. Don't forget, he was wounded, covered with blood. He was in pain. He was in pain. He goes, Ya Rasulullah, the angel of the mountains, if you so desire, I will cause these two huge mountains overlooking this village, overlooking this town, to collide with each other. Therewith, everything between them will be crushed to death. In any individual, how do you think he would have acted here? Honestly. And he would want to take revenge. But what did he say? What did he say? I am a Rasul of Rahmah. He said to the angel, I am a messenger that was sent as a mercy, not as a punishment. And then he said a beautiful statement. Although these people did not accept me, did not accept my call, just maybe, he said, I hope in Allah that just one of them, from their progeny, comes an individual that declares La ilaha illallah and serves Allah. Just one. Look at the mercy. Look at the conduct of this great man that we should follow. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Today, we profess to follow this man, but look at our actions. We get so much irritated by small trouble or a near abuse of an individual that we want to take revenge. We want to torture that person that slandered us or that gave us that little trouble. And we will continually do that throughout our entire lives in every possible way. Yet we claim to be following the magnanimous prophet. We claim. Is that truly following him yet Allah? Would he have done that? Would he have made a shura of the man and this person has hurt me? Okay, shura. How are we going to get back? We have to make sure we hurt him. Make sure we ambush him. Make sure we hurt his family. Break his legs. Break his car. Break his home. Break everyone that likes him. Is this the attitude of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Is that how he taught us? A whole nation, a whole community in Ta'if tried their best to kill him. How did he act? He had mercy, subhanAllah. You know, in the same area, you know, the actual pagans, the Arab pagans of Quraysh, they waged an unscrupulous war against Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. All the pagan Arabs, in particular the chiefs of paganism, they waged a war second to none. Nothing more evil, in other words. They were relentless, wallahi. They were relentless in their persecutions of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They did not leave any stone unturned. They slandered him. They defamed him. They tried to kill him. They tortured him. The atmosphere he lived around and in was an atmosphere of annoyance, absolute annoyance. Yet what happened? He still was patient. He still was patient. He still was merciful, and he never broke. He was firm and strong. And look what he became. And look at the Islamic nation that came out of it. Today we fall under basic pressure. Basic pressure. And we, healthy. What's going to happen next? Just basic pressure. You know, whether it's from the ego, monster, devilish, evil, propaganda, devilish machine, or from this person, social pressure, or community pressure. Ya shabab, al-ikhwan, al-muslimin, ya shabab. Don't expect to live with a cup of tea in your hand and the legs crossed or foxtail remote in your hand. Don't expect to live like that and get Jannah. You are going to be thrown at with obstacles that you don't like, but be patient. And make sure you're above reproach. Don't be the idiot ones. Be the merciful and the wise ones. The patient ones. Be the ones that know that this dunya is only temporary and you are temporal creatures. Be aware that outside there is evil. Evil. Don't ever break. Don't ever compromise. Don't ever bend. How many Muslims out there today? Just one thing about Islam. They go and shave their beards if they had a beard. They take their hijabs off. They change their names. They lose their identities. Why? Why? Is that how weak you are? Is that why Islam teaches you? The greatest thing in Islam, when the man came to Rasulullah and said, Ya Rasulullah, he said, قُلْ آمَنْتُ بِاللَّهِ ثُمَّ اسْتَقِمْ. So I believe in Allah and stand firm on that belief. Don't be very fossil vegetable soup. Be strong. Be firm on what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to be firm on. Number 8. When feeling tired in salat, you know, many a times we are a bit lazy and lax and we feel a bit weak in prayer. Remember that great man sallallahu alayhi wa sallam's prayer in tahajjud. And his feet, wallahi, would swell. His heels will break, they'll crack. One day Aisha bint Abi Bakr radiyallahu ta'ala anhuma said, Ya Rasulullah, Allah has forgiven you your past and your present sins. Why? Why in the world are you doing this to yourself? What did he say? أَفَلَا أَكُونُ عَبْدًا شَكُورًا. Should I not be a thankful slave? Should I not thank Allah for all the blessings He has given me? Understand this. Gee, we don't remember the blessings. We take things for granted. We are wallahi very careless, negligent and heedless. The very fact that this morning, you woke up in the morning, you just woke up, and you thanked Allah for giving you life as a Muslim would do after He had taken it away. He gave you back to life. That's a blessing. You got up. You performed wudu. Correct? It was a cold or hot water this morning. What a blessing. What a blessing. You prayed Fajr on time. On time. After prayer, you went to the kitchen, had a nice, tasty breakfast. went to the bathroom, had a nice warm shower. What a blessing, Allah Akbar. Left the bathroom, you got a nice towel too, under nice reverse cycle air conditioning. It's freezing cold. You hit a wall, you open your cupboard, you got so much clothes you can't even think what you're going to wear. Takes you 10 minutes to choose what you're going to wear. So much clothes, dude. But you wore your nice attire. You went to the kitchen, to the family room, and you saw your children, or your brothers, or your sisters, or your parents, or your wife, or your husband. The very fact that you have your health, you have a shelter that prevents you from negative elements of society. The very fact that you have, don't take it for granted. أَفَلَا أَكُونُ عَبْدًا شَكُورًا. Should I not be a thankful slave? Don't take it for granted. And never ever be arrogant and think that you achieved all this from your own hands. Wallahi ya ikhwati al-a'izzah, the very fact that Allah has blessed you with Islam and the authentic sunnah in itself is a source of continual praise. No matter how you live, in itself is a source of what? Continual, perpetual praise. But who's he? نائمون ولا يبالون. Like Shaykh we're in a deep slumber. Like bears that are hibernating. Our problem today is what is known, you've probably heard this from me before, the if I only syndrome. You have so much there, so much, but if I only had more wealth, I would do this. If I only had a better car, I would be a better person. If I only had a better wife, she passes a lot. Or if I only had a better husband. If I only had more than one wife, you might say. If I only had more wealth. If I only had a better job. If I only had more height, not too short. If I only had a better look in my looks. If I only had a better environment. If. That's our problem today. If I only syndrome. We focus so much on that which we don't have instead of being grateful for the things that Allah has given us. Wallahi ya ikhwas. We don't focus on being grateful and saying, Alhamdulillah, at least I've got hands. At least I've got sanity. At least I've got Islam. What more do you want? You have Islam. You have everything. You are the richest person. You haven't got Islam. You are nothing. I repeat, nothing. So take that if I only syndrome and flush it strongly down the drain. That's our problem today. And don't forget Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, should I not be a grateful or a thankful slave? Never forget this. This is the example that he taught us. Like I said, this is truly loving Rasulullah. Not just to say I love him, but in reality, using his example. He was always happy. He never got angry. He was living in a state of poverty, yet he was thankful. He gave when he could. He was happy and content when something was lost. He put the trust in Allah when something came in front of him, whether it's fear or anything else. And when pain hit him, he was still patient, wise, and tolerant. And he stayed up at night, although his feet and legs swelled, saying, indeed, I should be a thankful slave. Look at those who are less fortunate, and don't look at those who are more superior, more fortunate than you.